You look at kind of how this happened for the Mariners. The bullpen got hot. It has stayed hot. The rotation got hot. Durable rotation. Of course, they added to it, getting Luis Castillo at the deadline, the biggest name in terms of a starting pitcher that was available. And he's lived up to the billing so far in a handful of starts that have come against Garrett Cole twice and then Shohei Ohtani. So he's only facing aces on the other side.
It's like he only faced also from the Reds to you guys, it's like Yankee after Yankee after Yankee.
Exactly. He had 3 starts against the Yankees in about a 4-week stretch, and he dominated them every time. That's remarkable in and of itself. The offense has found consistency. The lineup has gotten healthier. And you couple even just a kind of adequate healthy lineup with what the Mariners have rolled out in terms of the pitching side of things, and you can do great things. And the Mariners have done really great things over the last couple of months. They have the 3rd best record in the American League right now.
Yeah, and the other thing is the bullpen's been real hot.
It's been incredible. I mean, to me, when you look at, if you want to pinpoint a guy, Andres Munoz came over from the Padres. He was in that deal back in 2020, the mega deal. Ty France is the biggest name that has come to the Mariners in terms of really producing. Of course, he's become an all-star first baseman. But Andres Munoz was on the injured list at the time. Tommy John, super young then, still super young now, but especially young then, made his Mariners debut, game 162 of last year. Okay, they get him on the mound, kind of an attaboy. Hey, great job on the recovery. Let's get you on the mound one time, build some confidence going to the offseason. So we really, in other words, had not seen him as a Mariner, generally speaking, until this year. We knew he threw 100. Okay, we knew he had a great slider. But he has evolved into one of the dirtiest relievers in the American League, especially if you look at relievers who are not exclusively ninth-inning relievers. He throws 100. He's topped out at 103. His slider, this would be something for you guys to watch. It's really remarkable. His slider went from being about 84 to 86 miles an hour to now, on the low end, 87, up to 91 to 92. And with the firmer slider, his fastball has become significantly more difficult to hit. His fastball was getting torched. Even though it was 100 miles an hour, torched. And he was throwing 70% sliders, 30% fastballs. And you could tell, even though he had an elite fastball, hitters were on it. Now that he's throwing his slider harder, his strikeout rate is through the roof. You look at, it depends on what time frame you're looking at, but north of 40% if you look at just a more recent stretch of time over the last month plus or so. He's been a major factor in what has been an elite level bullpen.
And I just start looking at, where the Mariners are right now, where everybody is, because we can see the finish line now, right? You still got a ways to go. It's like you're running that 5K and you're like, I can't believe my wife made me do this. And you're coming around that corner, you got a long way to go, but you can actually see people, and that's kind of where we are. And I think about where the Mariners are, and, just getting in, not only will be big for the city, and with the Seahawks maybe being down, maybe kind of taking the city back a little bit, but the fact that they'll be able to celebrate the first time in the playoffs since 2001. Just how big would that be for Seattle?
You almost can't quantify it. Seattle was like an 80-grade baseball town, right? When you look back at the 2001 Mariners and that historic season that they had, that place, talk about Safeco Field, that place was packed to the gills for batting practice, right? Let alone first pitch. We haven't seen those kind of crowds for exclusively baseball. We've seen it for a Griffey retirement ceremony, right? There's Ichiro's going to the Mariners Hall of Fame. We'll see it because of that. But now we're seeing it because of the play on the field. We are seeing the crowds come back. It helps in particular also that you have a young face that you can put with this team in Julio Rodriguez that is a blossoming superstar this year. He's a home run away from a 2020 season. He'll be the 9th guy 21 years or younger with a 2020 season in history. It's remarkable. So it wants so badly to be a baseball town, and it's right on the cusp. And Fangraphs today had them, I want to say, like a 90% chance to make the playoffs, even if it's the wild card, which it will be. The division is the Astros, obviously. The wild card will feel like going to the World Series.
Well, it's just odd when you just think about it and you go the longest drought out of the big four, NHL, NBA, NFL, Major League Baseball, the biggest drought is Seattle. You expect that when you'd say, okay, the LA Clippers, the Cleveland Browns, the Detroit Lions. It's hard to think Seattle because Seattle, as you mentioned, with a new young talent, but there's always been ever since Griffey, A-Rod, Randy Johnson, then you start the Ichiro shows up. There's always been a really good player or group of players. It's just that drought is it's shocking.
Well, I mean, to your point, if you wanted to make a Mount Rushmore of every franchise, like the Mariners Mount Rushmore is legit, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it is. You got, obviously Junior, and you have got Randy and Edgar and Ichiro, and it goes on from there. So you're right. It does feel strange when you put it kind of in that context. And even, past those guys and beyond 01, the Mariners have had some dudes, right? They've had Cano, they've had Cruz, they've had Segura, they've had Felix up on the mound. They've had names in the last 10 years or so. And to the Mariners' credit, last year the Mariners went into the game 162 with a chance to make the playoffs. They've been in that position multiple times in the last decade, going into the last series or the last game for a chance for a play-in or a chance for the wild card, and it hasn't worked out. But this year certainly feels different. And they won 14 games in a row going into the All-Star break, and it's amazing. This might surprise you. It's amazing what a 14-game winning streak will do to where you are in the standings.
Yeah.
And the Mariners are, but to their credit, I don't want to belittle it and make it seem like they just won 14 games and then mailed it in. They've built on that momentum. They have kept it up. Winning 14 again obviously is impossible, or next to, but that wasn't the start and the end of it. They've maintained great momentum and they continue to play well, and it's been driven generally by the pitching.
Well, we've had 3 losing streaks of at least 9 games. I can tell you how that helps out. That's a lot of fun, promoting before every game and after game. No, it's interesting to see because the Astros right now, and wouldn't you say, as we follow it, and we've gone through summer. When we were in New York in June, it was over. Yankees,
Right.
They were sizing up their World Series rings. And now where we are heading to the end of August, truly in the dog days, is we're in a stretch of 17 straight games. It's a whole different deal now. The Astros have the top seed. Look out, here comes teams in the Central a little bit better. Cleveland would be a tough matchup. You guys are a tough matchup. Things have changed from where we were well before the All-Star game.
Absolutely. And the Mariners have generally an exceptionally easy schedule the rest of the way, but there are some exceptions to that. For example, the Mariners have 2 series, 7 games left against the Guardians. They have not seen Cleveland left. They have a series against Atlanta remaining at home, a series against the Padres remaining also at home. And other than that, generally speaking, they're done with the Astros, which is pretty wild to think about.
It's okay. You can say it. It's a lot of A's. We're on there a lot.
It's a lot of A's. It's a lot of A's, Rangers, and Angels.
Yeah.
And mix that in with some teams from the Central and the Tigers and the Royals, outside of those kind of the way that the White Sox were series. But they are in position to finish strong over the last month and change.
Well, the thing for us is what we're trying to find, and it drives me nuts because I've heard so many people talk about, well, the A's are young. Oh, we're not young.
You got a little younger, though, when you lost a couple of guys, though, right?
Yeah, we were averaging at times our lineup, everybody almost over 30. Our average age is almost 29. So, yeah, letting Piscotty go and letting Elvis go has helped a little bit, but our average age for position players is still over 28. But we're starting to see some young guys, and I think what you can talk to about when a guy like Julio Rodriguez comes up and you see this young guy, not only – the now, but the future, what it gives you, that's what A's fans want to see.
Yeah, and the Mariners have waited, they waited a long time for somebody like a Julio. The Mariners really haven't had a position player prospect come up and be what Julio is, or even have the billing of what Julio is. Truly the last position player prospect that had that type of promise is Jared Kelenic, right? And that was last year, and that did not go well last year. It has not gone well this year either. But Julio has become somebody who you can envision kind of being one of those 5 to 7 kind of face of baseball guys in a few years from now, because he has everything. He does it all on the field. He's got that spark, that it factor about him in front of the camera. You gravitate to him. If you're a national broadcast, that's the guy you want to mic up. Right? That's the guy you're going to have the cameras on because he's so expressive. You can see the joy. it just exudes into your ballpark and into your clubhouse. And when he was gone, he was hit on the wrist by a pitch and went on the injured list. Like, you feel there's a little energy vacuum when he's not there. Now, the Mariners manage the waters okay without him, but obviously he's a dynamic player. He does it all. He's such a freak, man. I can't imagine having him play when there wasn't StatCast to measure his freakdom, because like, you need things like that to know exactly how great he is, because he's just that type of a talent. And to do it at 21, I mean, anybody who says that they thought this was going to be what his season was going to be like, they just don't know anything about baseball, because 21-year-olds don't come up generally and do this type of stuff.
And then Kelenic was, I remember being down at spring training, and it was like, are they going to hold him back because of service time? And this guy's the next this and next that. What happened to him?
I really thought this year, so Kelenic finished last year strong, especially strong compared to what he had posted in his career to that point in a short sample in the majors. I really thought that this year having Julio break camp with the Mariners and be in the opening day roster would be a huge help to Jared, because it would take focus off of Kelenic and the eyes would go on Julio, and Kelenic could kind of ease into the season with everybody putting a magnifying glass over the 21-year-old in center field as opposed to the young kid in right field in Kelenic. And that was a terrible theory. I mean, that did not work out. Julio has an ability, even when things were going rough in April. I mean, he hit under 200 in April. He got rung up, I want to say 12 times on a strike 3 call that was outside the zone in 1 month. And he never wore it on his face. His body language always stayed the same. He has an ability to hang with him and to kind of buoy those choppy waters. And then you look at his numbers since May 1, man, and it's like, this is Julio. There aren't many players that young or even kind of in the area code of his age that can do that. And Jared struggled with some of that. I mean, he's admitted that in so many words. He has all the talent. It just has not clicked this year. He's still he's still younger than Adley Rutschman. Both guys, but I'm talking specifically about Jared Kelenic.
Yeah, he's young.
He's a young guy. So, I mean, point being, nobody's given up on Jared Kelenic yet. But when you think about where the Mariners are right now, and they're doing it without somebody in Kelenic that they projected to be an everyday regular contributor offensively and defensively, I mean, that is kind of further testament to the quality of play for the Mariners this year.
When we bring a lot of the other teams' broadcasters on, the fan base may go, I have no idea who that guy is. But, of course, with you, we see you doing national games, and you will be on the national. See, with this kind of hair, you just can't be regional.
I mean,
with this kind of hair, you got to be national. And you'll be national tomorrow with Eric Karros.
Wait till you see it tomorrow. Let's see what I'm with Karros. So we've got this, like, real hair. I just give in.
It's a battle.
Yeah, Karros has got, I mean, like, if you measured, like, vertical leap of hair, the Karros has just got me doubled over.
So how are we going to get the mention of A's Cast in the national broadcast?
Yeah, well, probably.
Selfishly, I would like to know that.
I mean, probably in the open right off the top. As I talked about yesterday on A's Cast.
Boom! I love it.
So
I can stand out there, remind you of the broadcast booth, I'd be waving at you.
Something subtle like that.
Yeah.
I expect a pretty big boost and everything. You have a Connect 4 board here, by the way. Is there a reason for this?
Yes, because we will be, once the fans come in here at 4:30, we will be playing games. We're doing all kinds of games and everything, and we will we'll be live playing games with fans.
Okay.
And they're drinking, so what possibly could go wrong?
All right. It's a good operation you guys have here.
Let's end on this. So when you get ready, obviously, this is a great buffer for tomorrow because you got the national game tomorrow. Allows you to know a little bit more about the A's. How important is it to, when you're doing the actual game, that it's your team,
right,
it's your employer, but now we got to play, hey, it's the Mariners and the A's. And what is that like?
It's tough. I remember I did a Mariners at Astros game years ago at this point, and the Astros had like a real dude on the mound. Maybe it was Verlander or somebody like that. And he punched out one of the Mariners' big bats, Nelson Cruz or whoever, it doesn't matter, in a clutch situation late. 7th inning, 1-run game, man at second, and struck him out to end the inning. And there's 40-some thousand Astros fans. and I went with it, right? My call went with the big moment, and it just felt so dirty. It felt just so terrible to get into a Verlander punch out of a Mariner hitter, but that's what I had to do, right? And of course, there are people who give you flack about it, and they're all idiots.
Like, you
know,
traitor.
it's like, hey,
you traitor.
Yeah, because you know what? If it wasn't me on the call, they'd be griping about some national guy who's mispronouncing some Mariners player's name. So we all like to gripe. I get that, and there's no better platform than online. But it can be a little odd, to be honest, for sure, because you have to remember. Like, my biggest concern, I'm not a real big first name guy. But like, I call Julio a lot. Like, I feel like Julio Rodriguez has reached first name status.
He's Madonna.
Yes, he is the Madonna of the Mariners.
Elvis.
Yeah, but like, I don't want to say that tomorrow. Like, I'm gonna write down his name, first and last name, in my scorebook tomorrow, and I might even highlight Rodriguez just to make sure I don't.
So Julio Rodriguez, A's cast.
Yes, those are my in reverse order.
EK,
that's my priority.
Eric Karros has been on A's cast multiple times.
Multiple times.
If you asked him about it, I bet he wouldn't remember. Just knowing
So,
Eric Karros.
I'll be sure to bring up a good conversation with him about our best A's cast memories. Yeah.
Hey, great stuff. We always appreciate it.
It's great to be with you.
You're one of the best in the business, and it's always an honor to have you on the program.
It's great to be with you guys. Thanks for having me always.
We got more coming up next right here on A's Cast Live.
The Coliseum has gone by many names, but none better than the Last Dive Bar. Hi, everyone. Ken Korak here, and my friends at Last Dive Bar are helping us celebrate our longtime home. Last Dive Bar has the most unique merchandise for all Oakland baseball fans. T-shirts, sweatshirts, the Ray Fosse line, and my personal favorite, the lights have taken full effect. Visit their website at lastdivebar.com or follow them on social media at Last Dive Bar. All proceeds are invested back into the A's Community Fund and their affiliated charities. Go to lastdivebar.com. That's lastdivebar.com.
Humanity has accomplished a whole lot so far. We created penicillin, the automobile, and the internet, not to mention drones, duct tape, and the hot dog. It's all thanks to the power of human connections. And Ring Central's here to make that even easier, more seamlessly and securely, on a platform built to grow your business. Say hello to a whole new way to say hello. Visit ringcentral.com and say hello to possibilities. Ring Central. Message, video, phone, together.
Some things just go together. Peanut butter and jelly, cookies and milk, Oakland and Kaiser Permanente. If that last one caught you off guard, it shouldn't, because Kaiser Permanente has been helping keep Oakland healthy since our very beginning. And as the official healthcare partner of the Oakland A's, that won't be changing anytime soon. Whatever you may need, you can trust Kaiser Permanente to help keep you feeling your best. Kaiser Permanente. Thrive. Visit kp.org today.
Coming in at 5'3", it's number one mom. She switched to Xfinity and got the all-new 3-for-1 bundle. Unlimited internet, streaming, and Xfinity Mobile. All for what you could pay wireless companies for just one 5G unlimited line. Boom shakalaka. Go to Xfinity.com/3-for-1, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit an Xfinity store today. Limited time offer. Restrictions apply. Xfinity Mobile requires post-pay Xfinity Internet. After 24 months, regular rates apply to all services and devices.
This is Chris Townsend for the Chicken Pie Shop of Walnut Creek. Great news! Our indoor dining is back, along with our beautiful patio dining. Come taste our world-famous chicken pie that has been served in Southern California for 83 years. The Chicken Pie Shop of Walnut Creek has one of the most dynamic menus, plus a full bar. Pot pies, gourmet burgers, sandwiches, salads, flatbreads, and more. Don't forget, we still do takeout and delivery. For all the information, go to chickenpieshopwc.com. That's chickenpieshopwc.com.
Unlock offers and receive exclusive in-game features by downloading the MLB Ballpark app for iPhone and Android today. Plus, get the latest information on game times, schedules, and more.
When Northern California businesses need some pop in their lineup, they call the bank rooted in the East Bay, Mechanics Bank. Since 1905, Mechanics Bank has been helping Bay Area and Northern California businesses find success and perform at the top of their game. See how they can make a difference in your business today. Call or stop by your local branch or visit mechanicsbank.com. Mechanics Bank, the official East Bay bank of the Oakland A's. Member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Bring the whole family out to the ballpark for Nickelodeon Night on August 27th, presented by Chevron, with fun for fans of all ages.
Pitch around to Bunt, he pushes it, and Seth Brown makes a great leaping catch.
Come see your A's take on the New York Yankees. Meet some of your favorite Nickelodeon characters, Then head down to the field to see the drones take flight for a dazzling post-game light show. Tickets start at just $15. You won't want to miss this. Find your seats at athletics.com today.
A's Cast Live continues from the town. Here's Chris Townsend.
Welcome back to A's Cast Live. Vince Cotroneo is going to join us coming up here at 4:30, as this has actually turned out to be a great backdrop. Like all these years that we have been here, now it's been, God, what was the first year of the Treehouse? Was it 2018? Was the first year of the Treehouse, I want to say?
Sounds about right. I mean, my first year at the org was the next year, but then it was already open. So 2018 sounds about right.
Yeah. So essentially,
wait, weren't you talking to Renetti when we did inside the A's, where he was worrying about construction going on? So maybe it was 2019.
No, because I remember it was Warriors. I actually was doing the Warriors playoff game over at Oracle, and not doing the play-by-play, obviously. I was doing the pre and the post, and I walked over, and we were getting close to the Bay Bridge series, and they had just laid the actual flooring in here and outside, the outside bar, and that's where I would first do, and what do we call it, the dugout show. I'd first do the dugout show, our old pregame show out there, and they were just laying. This big piece of wood had not come in yet. This big piece of wood right here, this took like cranes to bring this in. So the big pieces of wood were just not brought here on a truck. That cranes had to lift them and bring them up here. So the whole construction, all this bar, when I first came in here to check it out before we would ever broadcast, wasn't even done yet. So it has now been a while. And unfortunately, when COVID happened, we couldn't, the COVID season 2020, every show was done from my home studio. And then last year, they didn't want to put us out here. I don't even think was this even open? Were people able to come here in 2021? Maybe at the end of the season?
I think once we let like full capacity fans, I think that's when we opened it. Because 2020, no. Remember we had limited capacity.
Yeah,
here. I think
very beginning.
I think once, maybe when we hit June of last year, I think it fully opened. I think so. Because I remember coming up here a few times when I was at the game not working.
So it is great to be back. And I didn't, we thought about for this show. And if you're listening, athletics.com/A'sCast, thank you so much. For you watching on Twitter or YouTube, I hope you're enjoying this backdrop because it actually is fantastic. This kind of gives us an idea of what we could do more with the Treehouse going forward as A's Cast Live continues to grow more than just streaming audio, now turning into a television show. One thing that from an A's standpoint wanted to get into today, and I thought about this a lot after postgame, was great problem, bad problem. It's a great problem right now that the A's have. I mean, my God, you look at the notes on Murph. Murph, since the All-Star break, has a .963 OPS, 7 home runs, 16 RBIs, and probably the most important thing. Like, I can give you all of these numbers and, this, but the one thing for Murph that has changed and needs to change for him going forward as he's entering, or you could say right in his prime right now, ages 27, 28, 29, that is, he's not striking out like he used to. 15 walks, 16 strikeouts since the All-Star break. If he truly is going to be a hitter that is going to man the 3-4 slot, going to be a guy that every single day, no matter where he is playing, catcher, DH, whatever, you're putting him in a spot in the order where it is time to drive in runs. It is time to be a big boy in the lineup. Well, he's got to not strike out as much. And we're seeing when he doesn't strike out, make more contact, has the natural ability and the power to hit the ball at the ballpark. What's changed for him is going the other way with certain balls. That's increased his batting average. It's made all the numbers go up. The more contact that he makes, the more that he uses the opposite field, it's changed all his numbers. Now you throw in Langoliers, which, I mean, you can look at every scouting report you want. You can see some videos from AAA. You can look at box scores. Until you get to see it, you're now seeing what everybody, of course, the great Fran Reardon was alluding to, is this guy's ability to hit the ball hard all over the ballpark. He did it all weekend long. He hit it down the line, first ever pitch that he saw for a double. You saw in the second game, first at-bat, before he went oppo jack, when he laced one down the left field line, but the third baseman was right there. Well, it wasn't down the line, but he ripped it right to third. The ability to get the hands in and turn on the ball, and then later drive it out to right center to show the power to get out to opposite field. And then, of course, doing it again with a double down the line. What you have right now, good problem, bad problem. Great problem is, you've got two guys that are elite talents, but the problem that you may have is that both guys play the same position. That's going to be a problem. If your two best offensive players play the same position, the answer is not saying put a guy at DH. One guy hits, one guy DH. That's not for their ages. That is not going to be the answer. So it is great that you have two guys at their age that we believe Langley. Now I'm putting the cart before the horse here. Get it? But once again, that's what we do with talk shows. But we're gonna say Langoliers is gonna be a highly offensive guy, and Murphy's coming into his own. Well, I got two highly offensive guys that got to play, and that to me and. Vince Cotroneo is going to join us here. Says here, broadcaster for the Oakland Athletics. Find him on Twitter at Vince Baseball. Welcome to A's Cast Live.
This is exciting.
Here in the tree. Remember when you used to come out here every Friday?
Yeah, a little table back here. You were kind of stuck in the corner. Nobody wanted to talk to you, and now look at you.
We had seats. Remember those seats? Somehow we had those leather seats.
Somebody got you. Who got you those?
I think it was Dave Renee. They were like the experimental seats for like the Coppola something.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I have no idea where they went. Everything, like we came back here, all our stuff was gone.
Well, it's been a while since anybody had been here, so it's nice to kind of get it up and running again.
How are you?
I'm good. Good to be home. Good long homestand. Going to be playing some teams that are fighting for something. And Mark Kotsay talked about it today. He goes, look, we've got 29 games left against teams with winning records. It's an opportunity for our guys to see this, try to compete. See where they are, get an idea of what it's like to try to reach that level. The A's were that team for years, when they would face clubs that were out of contention, like Seattle.
Yeah.
But the tables sure have turned.
Yeah, play spoiler. Let's have some fun.
Well, I think when you have the team that the A's are now in transition with so many young players, and they see what they're up against, hopefully it's the kind of thing that inspires them or motivates them to do the things that are necessary to continue to grow their game, to be at a point where they can be that team. And there's only one way to do that. That's to do, face-to-face. And so here we go.
And it's almost that when you're in the dugout and you're watching or you're playing against one of these teams, it's that, aha, that's what you do at the big league level. Aha, that's how you win at the big league level.
And there have been many times this year, it's no surprise, there have been many times this year where the A's young players have been in a circumstance, either at the plate or making a play defensively, where there's a teaching moment, after the fact. And in a lot of cases, it's a circumstance, whether it's a rundown play or just making a play or turning a double play or positioning in a shift, where when that moment happens and it doesn't go the way they want, the conversation is, okay, now this has happened. And players have said, well, I've not experienced this before. The good news is many of them have said, and it's, now that I've seen it, I know how to react, and that has grown. That's been part of the process of where the A's are right now. A lot of credit to the coaching staff is, two things. I mean, Mark Kotsay is pretty adamant. We know this. I mean, you're here to win. You're not here to develop, but you're certainly here to teach. So that's where they are. That's where the A's are right now, and I think there are going to be more moments like that in the last 44, 43 games that the A's have.
I was just talking about it before you came in, and I'm thinking about our conversation from the end of the game yesterday, and then after kind of talking myself into it, and then knowing today we were going to talk about this, going, your two best offensive players in spring training heading into next year, we could realize, and there's a lot that could go on, right? But Could be Langoliers and Murph.
Yeah.
Could be your two best offensive players. And when you have your two best offensive players, they both got to play. And great problem, but it could be a problem. I don't think long-term your problem is flipping DH catching. I'm going to be real interested to see what they're going to do with this.
Well, we got a long way before that. We have to worry about that. And I think they were pretty clear about how the rest of this season will play out, at least the majority of the season, where Sean Murphy's going to catch, 5.5 to 6 days a week, as he should. He's a Gold Glove catcher. He's an all-star caliber catcher. He's had an incredible year for the Athletics. I mean, you don't walk away from that because you've got your number one prospect playing the same position. I will say this. In the handful of games we saw Shea play down in Texas, he's checked a lot of boxes.
Yeah.
Pop time of 1.8 on that great throw to second base, throwing out Marcus Semien. The home run to right center field. The double in his first at bat down the left field line. Made a nice, he should have blocked the ball. He didn't, but he recovered, made the play at the plate with a flip home when the tag was applied by Zach Logue. So those are things that make you say, man, we gave up an incredible talent in Matt Olson. Everybody knows that. What did we get back? Oh, well, this looks like it might be something. I'm not going to worry about how they're going to handle spring training of next year, but I still want to finish and see what the A's are going to do in 2022. I just can't go there. And, given what the A's did spring training this year with Bassett and Minaya and Chapman and Olson all, going to different teams, you don't know where that process is with this ball club. Sean Murphy's a guy that was talked about at the trade deadline. Fortunately, the A's held on to him. If they pick up the phone in the winter and they say Sean Murphy's available, David Force will be very busy on the phone, and he'll have a lot of opportunity to consider what offers might be. I don't want to have to worry about that till that actually presents itself.
We have all these Moneyball memes that are out there on Twitter. We could have one of these Moneyball memes where you got Brad Pitt and the actor who played Ron Washington, and it says, it's extremely easy to play third base. Here's the third base glove, Shay.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah.
I don't see him first baseman, I don't know, body type exactly first base, but the one thing we do know, and Fran Reardon had told us on this show before, is that StatCast loves his athleticism and his speed. And for Steve Rodriguez, who used to be the head coach at Baylor, told us he did play some outfield. So it will be interesting to see. But, yeah, they could be. You never know. They're the two best hitters for the A's. That will be interesting. When I think about the guy who's the manager for the Seattle Mariners is a guy you know very well. And their fun differential is fun all of a sudden again.
It is.
And ever since that June 21st date when they showed up here, 10 games under 500, they have the best record in baseball. And they're one of, we can get into Cleveland. We can get into a few of these stories in the American League that are really good stories. It's just not all, hey, back in June, the Yankees were in the World Series. Everybody was sizing up those World Series rings. And now it's a whole different ballgame.
Well, that's why you play 162. That's the beauty of this sport, that the marathon of who can actually last the longest. The things that I see with Seattle makes me hopeful for the future of the Athletics. You see Logan Gilbert and you see George Kirby in the rotation, and I'm thinking about Gunnar Hoagland, and I'm thinking about JT Ginn, I'm thinking about Ryan Cusick, Joey Estes, I'm thinking about these young arms, JP Sears, who's here now, and will they become the kind of corridor rotation that we're seeing that's happening? And with the Mariners, they put those guys up there pretty quickly. So I'm talking, if they stay healthy, that maybe mid-24 you see these guys consistently getting start after start. I'm getting way ahead of myself, but I think that's the way I look at it. They have, without question, in my opinion, the most exciting young player in the league in Julio Rodriguez. He's got a chance to be 2020 already. It'll be the 10th time it happens for the Mariners. He's got 19 home runs. He's the leader for the Rookie of the Year. It's not a lock yet because I think Adley Rutschman is deserving some consideration.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's Buster Posey 2.0.
But this kid has an electric smile, taught himself English, watching the MLB Network. He gets it. He's good with kids. He's good with the media. He at his age, which is 21 or 22, he's accepting his role. That just doesn't happen. That's a very, very special player. He's outgoing, and he's fun to watch. And this is going to be a tough series for the A's just to see how they play against these guys. And they have not played well against them all year. What I like about tonight's game, Chris, is you've got two pitchers. And the year velocity, everybody throwing 97, whatever. You got two guys that are painters. With Marco Gonzalez, with a little cutter, works inside, and Cole Irvin, who throws 91, 92, but not afraid to throw the four-seamer inside. And the other sidebar with Cole You may recall last year, a little too chatty about the Seattle Mariners after the first game. I shouldn't give up that many hits to this kind of a lineup. Ended up going 0-5 against Seattle. He was humbled at the end of the year. He said as much his last press conference. This is his first game against the Mariners this year. We'll see how this year rolls out for him.
Fast workers.
Yes, that's a good thing.
If they're too fast, we got hey, whoa, slow it down. We got Queen.
We
here.
got Mulder. We got Mulder and Burley. Tap the brakes.
Hold on, we got to get dark. No, but it's going to be nice to see Cole get on the mound against them, and he still has one of the better ERAs in the American League.
He's number 8. 3.1. The thing that surprised me, and look, when a guy makes 30 starts and throws close to 200 innings, which Cole is in the process of doing, you're going to have a little bit of a stub toe. And I thought his last start was a stub toe from this perspective. All five runs he gave up against Houston came with 2 outs, and 4 of those came with 2 outs and nobody on base. That's how the inning started. That's not a Cole Irvin game. Cole Irvin knows how to close out an inning, and I think that will be tightened up tonight against Seattle.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Any surprises going on in baseball for you right now when you start looking at races? All of a sudden, another city that was sizing up rings was San Diego, and right now they are struggling.
Yep, that's the one because they're under 500 since the trade deadline. Josh Bell has not played that well for them. We know the Tatis story. I think Elvis Andrus was in conversation with those guys as well before signing with the Chicago White Sox because they had a needed shortstop without Tatis and playing Hung Sung Kim there at shortstop. So to me, that's probably at the top of the list. The other one would be the Guardians. I mean, the Guardians are a team that outside of Jose Ramirez aren't really all that flashy. They pitch and they catch the ball. They put the ball in play. They don't strike out. They do all these little things and they're winning games. And they've been we all root for Terry Francona. We love the guy, and he to me that's been an interesting story that they've hung in there as long as they have. Minnesota made a big splash before the season, made a big splash at the trading deadline, and then here's still Cleveland running the show.
We picked on this show a National League and an American League team to root for the rest of the way, and because of our beloved Ray Fosse and the way they play, I went Guardians.
Okay,
they make contact, they steal bases, they pitch, they're young.
Yeah.
And then I'm going the Fightins.
Really?
Going the Phils.
You get Nola, and you get Wheeler, and you get Ranger Suarez in a 3-game series.
Bryce Harper's taking BP.
Yeah, they could be interesting. I wonder if it would be a factor for them as it plays out. Will they get a chance to host? If they don't get a chance to host, will they be a different team away from Citizens Bank Park, which is a bandbox for them, than if they got a chance to host all 3 games in the wild card for them?
A lot of interesting series going on. Obviously, Toronto, New York. Let's end on this. And I think Cleveland and Chicago right now. One that you might not think about, but it's a rematch. It's interesting. And as we were crowning the Mets and the Yankees, look out. Astros-Braves right now is an interesting series.
Well, I mean, the Astros they're just a good team. I mean, there's not a lot of holes, and Alex Bregman has come alive all of a sudden for those guys. They've got a little bit of an issue at the back of the bullpen, a little bit of inconsistency with Ryan Presley, but I think he'll be fine. When you've been there as often as they've been there, nothing phases those guys. It doesn't seem like it. They just kind of they get out there and they get it done. And the Braves, they can score some runs and they can run some pitching at you. Max Fried had missed like 3 weeks. Goes out last night, those 7 strong innings against the Mets. So I'm with you on that. Those are good teams to pay close attention to.
Yeah, you take 3 of 4. You knew you had to split between Scherzer and DeGrom. They do just that. You're not going to be shocked if we're having you on the show in October and we're like, hey, it's the World Series and it's the Astros and the Braves.
No,
you would be shocked.
I would not be shocked at all. And it'll be interesting next week, too. Yankees and Mets again. And the Scherzer and DeGrom are pitching in that series against the Yankees.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure always.
We got Cal Stevenson coming.
You're going to enjoy this kid. I've spent a lot of time with him on the road trip. He's a very engaging young man. He's fun to talk to. He's got a good, just a good baseball sense about him. He made an unbelievable throw yesterday in Texas, and we talked about it after the game. That seed right on the base. Wish there was a better result. There wasn't, but it really opened up my eyes again. Just watching this kid who seems to show signs of being a fundamentally strong player.
All righty.
Thanks, Townie.
We'll talk to you before the game.
No, you got the guy back off vacation.
I got back from vacation, Kid Korak.
Yes, you do.
We'll talk to the outfielder next, right here on A's Cast Live.
The Coliseum has gone by many names, but none better than the Last Dive Bar. Hi, everyone. Ken Korak here, and my friends at Last Dive Bar are helping us celebrate our longtime home. Last Dive Bar has the most unique merchandise for all Oakland baseball fans. T-shirts, sweatshirts, the Ray Fosse line, and my personal favorite, the lights have taken full effect. Visit their website at lastdivebar.com or follow them on social media at Last Dive Bar. All proceeds are invested back into the A's Community Fund and their affiliated charities. Go to lastdivebar.com. That's lastdivebar.com.
Hey A's fans, we've got a great deal for you. Get 4 tickets and parking for all Friday night games starting at just $39. Pick from great matchups, post-game fireworks and drone shows, giveaways, and more.
Outside corner, ring him up. And Eaton can't believe it.
Grab the crew and head to the Coliseum with friends and family any Friday night this season. 4 tickets and parking starting at just $39 for the whole group. Tickets are available at athletics.com. That's athletics.com.
Streaming from the East Bay, A's Cast Live continues with Chris Townsend.
We on? Hey, how about this guy, the new outfielder, Cal? Great to have you on the program.
Glad to be here.
I mean, this for you, I just think about the dream of you get traded, you come over to a team that you grew up watching, not that far from here, making your debut, everybody's spelling out your name. I mean, what has this ride been like for you?
It's been awesome. Like you said, it's just coming back home and being able to play in front of my family it's been awesome, and I'm looking forward to it in the future.
You know, we haven't been able to talk to you before. What was it like when the trade went down? You're getting traded for Christian Bethancourt. So you're getting traded. Oh, okay, that probably stinks, but you're going to the A's. What was that like?
Well, at first I didn't know it was the A's. I was just told I was traded, and then after a few moments he had told me it was the A's, and it's just an opportunity that I got to play in the big leagues, and here I am. I didn't really have much thought to it. It was just getting back here and getting an opportunity and playing every day.
Did you view coming back here, as we talk about a lot, the land of opportunity? You get here, you're going to have a chance.
Yeah, for sure. And that's what Kotsay and I had talked about when I had gotten called up, and they were saying take advantage of your opportunities. You're going to get plenty of them. So I'm trying to do that.
By the way, he said it earlier today. I had the interview with him. We do it every Friday, the Mark Kotsay show. And he has said it now multiple times, how much you remind him of himself being out there. And I'm like, that can't hurt if the skipper is looking out and saying, yeah, that kind of reminds me of me.
Yeah, it's good. I got asked that question the other day. It's nice when your manager has some trust in you and kind of knows your style of play, and it just lets you go out there and play freely.
What is the key for you now that you've had some at-bats, been home, been on the road, coming back? You feel a little more free? How you feeling?
Yeah, I mean, that first week is a little different. You're coming up and you're trying to fit in. You're meeting some new guys, some new coaches. You're trying to get on the same page. So, that first week's done. And, I'm just, like I said, I'm just trying to go out there and play and do my thing.
Have you noticed them starting to make adjustments to you at all?
Yeah. Today I came in a little early, got some early work in, got with Tommy a little bit, our hitting coach, and, had a good plan of what we're going to try and do moving forward. So that was nice.
Technology here at the big league level is a little bit different, even though there's great technology all over baseball. College baseball really has been at the forefront in a lot of ways. But how do you use it once you get here? Because there's so much video, there's so much data to help you. Are you using all of it, or is it select? What's best for you?
I think everyone's different. You want to use things and utilize them as best you can, but just taking what you can from the video or certain analytics side of it, you definitely just try and do your best to read it and do stuff in between at bats, in between pitches if you can. I mean, it's tough in between pitches, but when you're playing defense, just making those adjustments on the fly and not waiting after the game to make those adjustments.
What's the big league moment that everybody has? Like, I can't believe I'm here.
I've tried not to think about that. For me, it's been the food. There's a lot of food in the clubhouse and the locker room, so it's just trying not to eat too much and just trying to I can't even explain. There's so much food in there.
Well, you don't have to
been
bring
awesome.
your own food to the ballpark.
No.
You know what I mean? They feed you guys constantly.
Yeah, no, you just try and manage it.
Yeah.
I've been told not to eat too much because you could gain some weight quick, and I've been trying to manage that.
And then, of course, I got to think playing in Texas' new stadium is pretty spectacular.
Yeah, Texas was awesome. They did a really good job on that stadium, and Houston was really cool too. So, I just want to beat those guys more in the future, and I'm looking forward to doing that.
So being back home, the cell phone, what is it like? Text from friends, family, how has it changed?
I got a lot of texts. I got a lot of DMs on Instagram. I tried to get back to as many people as I can. I still got to get back on that. But I got a lot of love and support from everyone back home, a lot of former teammates. So that was nice to see a lot of people congratulate me. And I just want to say now that I really appreciate that.
Well, yeah, you're back home. You're a kid that grew up, in the East Bay. You grew up an A's fan. You grew up going to this stadium.
Yep.
It's kind of like it's a dream come true that most players never get.
Yeah, no, like I said, it's a great opportunity. Not many people get to experience that, and I'm just really looking forward to fitting in here and the future here.
I remember when you got traded over here, my accountant, the former mayor of Fremont, Bill Harrison, was like, hey, my guy, he's coming your way. So it's like, even I have a connection to you, right?
Yeah.
So, that's what's really cool about someone who gets to play at home, but most importantly, in front of your family, because obviously if you're making your debut in Tampa, it's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah, for sure. I've been on the East Coast my whole professional career. And it's kind of crazy how the full circle swings around, and I'm back here. I get an opportunity, like I said, and get to do big things.
Well, I a lot of respect for the Rays and their organization.
Yeah.
Very smart, no question.
Yeah.
What did you learn? Probably what's the number one thing you learned from being with the Rays?
Just the work ethic. They're really big on just getting a lot of reps in early work, and just going all out on live reads and just doing stuff at game speed. So I think that has really helped me out in the defensive side, and the offensive side, just really slowing things down and just letting the game happen.
Let's end on this. Your preference in the lineup. Do you like hitting leadoff? Is it something you're comfortable doing? Is it where you want to be? I know right now you're going to, hey, wherever you put me, where are you most comfortable in the order?
I would say leadoff. For me, it's just seeing pitches and kind of getting an idea of how guys are trying to pitch to me. And, I feel like I'm a guy that gets on base a lot and works counts. So it's kind of just relaying those pitches and how a guy's trying to pitch that day. And I think I have a good idea of what guys are trying to do. So it's just like getting all that stuff back in the dugout, getting on base, trying to score, get things going. I think I kind of just fit that role of the leadoff guy, and I think that's where I'm more comfortable at.
Well, hopefully this right here is something we're doing for many years to come. I think it's a great story. Obviously, everybody's pulling for you. And welcome to Oakland, and welcome to the A's fan base. And I have a feeling this is going to be a good ride for you.
Yeah, I hope so. I'm looking forward to it, and look forward to meeting with you more.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
We got more coming up next right here on A's Cast Live.
The Coliseum has gone by many names, but none better than the Last Dive Bar. Hi, everyone. Ken Korak here, and my friends at Last Dive Bar are helping us celebrate our longtime home. Last Dive Bar has the most unique merchandise for all Oakland baseball fans. T-shirts, sweatshirts, the Ray Fosse line, and my personal favorite, the lights have taken full effect. Visit their website at lastdivebar.com or follow them on social media at Last Dive Bar. All proceeds are invested back into the A's Community Fund and their affiliated charities. Go to lastdivebar.com. That's lastdivebar.com.
Humanity has accomplished a whole lot so far. We created penicillin, the automobile, and the internet, not to mention drones, duct tape, and the hot dog. It's all thanks to the power of human connections. And Ring Central's here to make that even easier, more seamlessly and securely, on a platform built to grow your business. Say hello to a whole new way to say hello. Visit ringcentral.com and say hello to possibilities. Ring Central. Message, video, phone, together.
Unlock offers and receive exclusive in-game features by downloading the MLB Ballpark app for iPhone and Android today. Plus, get the latest information on game times, schedules, and more.
If you're looking for a new mattress, Nest Bedding has you covered. Sleep on the same mattress Hall of Famer Ricky Henderson sleeps on. Nest Bedding is a national brand with family-owned prices and service. You can shop at one of their Barrier locations, and all stores are sanitized and safe, or you can navigate their easy-to-use website, nestbedding.com. That's nestbedding.com. Green and gold fans, use the coupon code Oakland and you'll get 10% off your entire order. Nest Bedding, love where you sleep.
Bring the whole family out to the ballpark for Nickelodeon Night on August 27th, presented by Chevron, with fun for fans of all ages.
Pitch around to bunt. He pushes it. And Seth Brown makes a great leaping catch.
Come see your A's take on the New York Yankees, meet some of your favorite Nickelodeon characters, then head down to the field to see the drones take flight for a dazzling post-game light show. Tickets start at just $15. You won't want to miss this. Find your seats at athletics.com today.
Coming in at 5'3", it's number one mom. She switched to Xfinity and got the all-new 3-for-1 bundle. Unlimited internet, streaming, and Xfinity Mobile. All for what you could pay wireless companies for just one 5G unlimited line. Boom shakalaka. Go to Xfinity.com/3-for-1, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit an Xfinity store today. Limited time offer, restrictions apply. Xfinity Mobile requires post-pay Xfinity internet. After 24 months, regular rates apply to all services and devices.
This is Chris Townsend for the Chicken Pie Shop of Walnut Creek. Great news! Our indoor dining is back, along with our beautiful patio dining. Come taste our world-famous chicken pie that has been served in Southern California for 83 years. The Chicken Pie Shop of Walnut Creek has one of the most dynamic menus, plus a full bar. Pot pies, gourmet burgers, sandwiches, salads, flatbreads, and more. Don't forget, we still do takeout and delivery. For all the information, go to chickenpieshopwc.com. That's chickenpieshopwc.com.
Innovation is at the heart of Cal State East Bay, like at our Green Biome Institute, where faculty and students map genes from California's endangered plants, or how we open doors for local entrepreneurs at our Small Business Development Center. From educators to nurses to STEM professionals, Cal State East Bay has real impact throughout the region's neighborhoods, boardrooms, and entire economy. Be part of the innovation. Connect with Cal State East Bay at csueastbay.edu/impact.
Hey, A's fans, you know that running your own business is a slugfest every day. That's why businesses have been counting on Mechanics Bank since 1905. From operating lines of credit to equipment and real estate loans, they can help build your lineup to meet today's challenges and prepare for tomorrow's opportunities. Stop by your local branch or visit mechanicsbank.com today. Mechanics Bank, the official East Bay bank of the Oakland A's. Member FDIC and equal housing lender. All loans subject to program eligibility and credit approval.
A's fans, there is no better way to stay in touch with the A's and even our players than following us on social media. Just head over to athletics.com/social. That's athletics.com/social for a full list of our social coverage, from player accounts to Twitter handles and more. Now is the time to stay in touch. Head over to athletics.com/social. That's athletics.com/social today.
Some things just go together. Peanut butter and jelly, cookies and milk, Oakland and Kaiser Permanente. If that last one caught you off guard, it shouldn't, because Kaiser Permanente has been helping keep Oakland healthy since our very beginning. And as the official healthcare partner of the Oakland A's, that won't be changing anytime soon. Whatever you may need, you can trust Kaiser Permanente to help keep you feeling your best. Kaiser Permanente. Thrive. Visit kp.org today.
Hey, A's fans, we've got a great deal for you. Get 4 tickets and parking for all Friday night games starting at just $39. Pick from great matchups, post-game fireworks and drone shows, giveaways, and more.
Outside corner, ring him up. And Eaton can't believe it.
Grab the crew and head to the Coliseum with friends and family any Friday night this season. 4 tickets and parking starting at just $39 for the whole group. Tickets are available at athletics.com. That's athletics.com.
A's Cast Live continues from the town. Here's Chris Townsend.
Well, we're going to have a little Omaha as we're going to play Mark Kotsay for you, the Mark Kotsay Show. As you can start to see, everybody is starting to file in here as the Treehouse Happy Hour is rocking. What is Last Dive Bar doing over here that we have so many people?
There's a celebration of life going on for a man named Ray passed away. So they're doing a celebration of life. His whole family's here.
Beautiful.
And everyone has on the We Love You Ray shirts that they did for Ray Fosse.
Oh, yeah.
So,
I heard about this.
Yeah, the last time Brian told me they're donating, Brian from the Last Dive Bar, one of our sponsors, told me they're donating, I believe, $1,000 to the check's right there. $1,000 to Papa Ray, the AIDS Community Fund.
Oh,
so
that's awesome.
The work they do with for the AIDS Community Fund and charity is fantastic.
Yeah, that's why they're one of our best sponsors. By the way, I was going to, I don't even know if we're going to get to it now, and then I don't even know if this will be a story by the time we come back on Monday. This Fernando Tatis deal is getting bad.
It's going to be a story for a while.
Well, yeah, but the main point of it now is whatever his father's trying to sell down the Dominican, whatever we're seeing Big Papi, Pedro Martinez, it just keeps getting worse. And now reports are that Jurickson Profar, former Athletic, has been desperately trying to get him to, hey, man, you got to own this in front of the team, in front of the fellas. And he hasn't done that. Now, A.J. Preller, who runs the Padres, has met with him. But he hasn't met. What's the managing general part? Stetler?
Peter Seidler.
Peter Seidler is the managing general part. He has not met with Tatis. He's the one that approved the 14-year, $340 million contract. Let's not forget, this is more than just, the player. They got a $340 million contract that we're talking about here that, if everybody's not lovey-dovey and not comfortable this early in the contract, you got problems. This is one of the largest financial commitments in the history of American professional sports. And, oh, by the way, when the Padres traded for Soto, Josh Bell, and Hader, everything was supposed to be roses, and Tatis was coming back. Padres have lost 9 of their last 14. They've scored just 11 runs in the 9 defeats during that stretch. Josh Bell's hitting $125. Hader can't get anybody out. He's getting booed.
He got booed off the mound yesterday.
And if I look right here at the current playoff standings and the seeding, do you know what seed the Padres are?
They're the 3rd wild card, the final wild card.
They're 6th.
Yeah, they're the last wild card team.
They are 6th. You go all in on Juan Soto, Bell, and Hader, and you've dropped in the seeding.
No, don't forget Brandon Drury, too. That was a sneaky pickup. And they're
You're 6th.
I believe they're only I think they're 2 games out because the Brewers lost today, so they're 2 games ahead of the Brewers.
If the Padres don't get into the playoffs and make hay, I'd probably say you got another president of baseball operations. I don't know what A.J. Preller's title is.
I believe he is Is he the president? He might be the president of baseball.
You got another guy who's going to get fired. John Daniels just got fired. When I keep talking about how there's no patience in this game anymore, our buddy Bob Nightingale, and we're not going to have time to get to it today, but maybe we'll do that on Monday. Our buddy Bob Nightingale now has Chris Woodward is gone. Who are the next managers that could lose their jobs? That's 4 already this season. He's got a whole list in the USA Today of guys that could go. Our guy, Mark Kotsay, of course, is not on that list. But you're going to have a lot of change in these guys that are vice president, president of baseball operations. The game is moving fast, and preaching patience while giving out hundreds of millions of dollars, not working. And A.J. Preller's had his job for a long time down there. Our own Bob Melvin, he left Bob had another year. He had his extension picked up. He left that to take this cushy job with the Padres. Now, not looking so cushy as you're the last seed. You keep dropping. I mean, you're at a point. The Milwaukee Brewers are just 1 game behind the Padres. We got a lot of games to go.
Yeah.
The Padres could easily be out of the postseason. Can you imagine how bad that'll look? You trade for Juan Soto. Tatis is suspended into next year. You got Bell, you got Hader, Drury, as you mentioned, and you don't make the playoffs. What a bad look. This will be another horrible bad look, and people will be losing their jobs. There's no question about it. But more importantly, it is Friday. That means it is time for the Mark Kotsay Show, brought to you by Nest Betting. Time now for the Mark Kotsay Show right here on A's Cast, brought to you by Nest Betting. Check out their locations in the Bay Area for all your betting needs, or you go online, nestbetting.com. Use the coupon code Oakland. We're talking about your mattress, your pillows, your sheets, everything. Nestbetting.com. Use the coupon code Oakland to get 10% off your entire order. The bed that Mark Kotsay sleeps on, I think you got to be thrilled to be back home and sleeping on your Nest Betting bed.
I am thrilled to be in the Nest Betting stuff. Obviously, a big shout out to Nest Betting. They've taken care of a lot of things for my family and could be more appreciative, but very comfortable stuff for sure, Tony.
Yeah, because on the road, I mean, after a while, here we are in August. You've been doing a lot of hotels. You were just in Houston, then in Texas. It's got to be nice for you, your players, to come home and know you got 10 straight days back in the Bay Area.
Yeah, it's definitely nice to be home, and you get the opportunity, whether you want to fly family in, spend some time with you. If you're coming back home and your family's here, you're excited about that. And again, we are in the midst of August. It's and also in the midst of a 17-game stretch or 16-game stretch where we're not going to get a day off. So you got to take advantage of some time at home for sure.
Yeah, talk about that stretch in August, because when they say the dog days, this is what they're talking about. 17 straight days without a day off. A lot of transition going on with your club. This isn't easy.
Well, it's never easy. I mean, a major league season is a grind, and you experience that as you get a little bit older, as you've been in the game a little bit longer. You understand the grind, the excitement and energy that sometimes the young guys that haven't been through it will experience. It carries them through this time, and I think we kind of addressed that a little bit as the changes have taken place over the last week or so. And talked about finishing this season strong, that we've got 45 games left when we talk to the club, and that we're not going to stop working. We're going to sprint through the finish line, build ourselves, continue to build ourselves, continue to learn, work, and fight till the end.
Well, I want you to know that I'm always paying attention to everything. So I was listening to you on with the Power Alley on Sirius XM with our good friends Mike Farron and Jim Duquette, and listening to you with them. And you talked about that fight. You talked about, hey, listen, we want to show not only ourselves, the other teams, what we're all about. Just how important is that fight, not only for inside your clubhouse, but to show the other clubhouse?
Yeah, for sure. I think the message was sent to our guys as well after that conversation on MLB radio. I felt the need to address the team and send that message. And the message is that our season, really from this day forward starts to impact how we send the message to the league, how we're going to continue to play this game, not just through this into this season, but the start of next season. We really want to continue that culture. Because I think it's been good. I think the culture in the clubhouse has been good. We've experienced a lot of adversity, a lot of change. We're nowhere near where we want to be in terms of wins, losses. But these guys haven't given up, and they're going to continue to work hard and continue to set a tone for next year. And obviously, where we're at, we can impact some other teams' seasons.
Scouting reports, box scores in the minor leagues, that's one thing. But then seeing a guy with your own eyes is a whole different deal. Now, I've been able to talk to him one time. It was on a video call when I was doing the pregame show for NBC. Seems like a real nice kid. Now that you've gotten a couple days with Shea Langoliers, just tell me about the whole package. What do you see with your eye test?
Well, I see a young obviously passionate, energetic, young player. He obviously fits the mold of a catcher, and it's great to have him here. It's going to be great to get an extended period of time with him. It's great for him. He's going to benefit from being around Sean Murphy and Stephen Vogt in all capacities, both offensively and defensively. And just, for us as a staff, getting to know him, getting to know how he works. But at this point, in the limited 3 games we've seen him, we know who he is in terms of a person and the work ethic, and we're excited about that.
We've been able to see him pull the baseball. I mean, his first base hit, his first pitch he ever sees, which is hilarious. Had the double yesterday in the second game of the 3 that he played. His first at bat, he ripped one to third base. He lined out. We've seen him go opposite field. We see him go deep opposite field in Texas, which is not easy to do. Tell us about the approach where it kind of looks like he's got power and he can go to all fields.
Yeah, again, I think he's had 12, 13 at-bats, and what we're seeing, obviously, aligns with what we've gotten from reports from, Fran, who's our manager in AAA, and the hitting coaches down there. All young hitters like to pull the baseball, so that's not a secret. But to see him go to right center, hit a ball well enough to get out of the ballpark and cost me $100 at the same time, we know that the importance of keeping him to the right center gap is going to be a continued message. It's going to be a continued thing that he needs to do to have success here, as all hitters need to do. You see Sean Murphy over the last 6 weeks, his approach to where he's hitting the baseball and the success he's having. It's to the middle of the field. It's when young hitters especially, get pull side happy, it tends to lead to more strikeouts, more swing and miss. So we're going to continue to work with Shea, and but like you said, he's an aggressive hitter. He's got a couple doubles, a homer, so it's exciting to watch for sure.
Well, I said this in the post game, and I'm going to say it with you. I don't care when or how you get a C note from somebody. Boy, does it make you feel good.
And I didn't even get a thank you from him. So I'm going to make sure I have him run by my office today, because I left it on his chair, and I've yet to have him come in and say, hey, Skip, thanks for staying true to your word. So, but the other aspect that we haven't gotten into or talked about was the throw from yesterday's game. That was pretty impressive as well. But as I mentioned, it's nothing new here. It's nothing that we haven't seen with Sean Murphy. So, but it was exciting to watch a young rookie, make his first throw on one of our former players, Marcus Semien, who had a heck of a jump, and still, throw him out. So that was fun to watch too.
I also thought Cal Stevens' throw from center field was impressive on Marcus Semien. Now, he didn't get the out, however you want to perceive the tag and talk about the tag, but I think you're starting to see some good things out of Cal too.
Yeah, Cal's been here for a week plus, and watching him play center field, he's got great instincts. He actually kind of reminds me a little of myself. He's not a burner, but he gets pretty good jumps. He runs great routes. So I think we've seen a few catches of Cal defensively, and then like you said, the throw yesterday, if we could get Machine to hang in there. I know it's a tough play. The ball's coming right over the shoulder, and runners coming in sliding. So nothing against what Machine tried to do to stay in there as long as possible and get a tag, but a really nice accurate throw at that too.
You look at Sean Murphy, Big Murph, and whether it's the numbers that really started in June, followed through a strong July. I mean, he just kills Texas in that new ballpark. I mean, he's got ownage there. Just talk about we're finally starting to see this could be a guy that's middle of the order that can produce and put up major numbers. Talk about just how the growth you're seeing of him as from an offensive standpoint.
Yeah, for Murph, I think he's taken another step built off last season and the growth he had there offensively. He struggled a little bit in May. I think there was a little bit, of expectation that he put on himself hitting in the middle of the order, which he hadn't done on this ball club, based on the personnel. But he got through that transition. He's comfortable where he's hitting now. And as you said, I think he can be a middle of the order bat that drives in runs and can do some damage. It's funny. We've talked about Shea Langeliers, we've talked about Sean Murphy. And, yesterday I was sitting in the dugout and I looked behind and the Rangers catcher's Jonah Heim and another Oakland, catcher that we've had here. So we've been able to identify some pretty good backbones in the recent years for sure.
Well, that's where I've talked about, to see one of them find another glove and go out there and play so we can see him in the lineup every day. Normally that's something you try and do in the minor leagues. Is that something that we could see down the stretch, one of your catchers finding another position other than DH so you can get both of them in the lineup?
Well, I mean, that's nice in theory. It's whether or not, you can transition or make that transition. And then you have to look at the value that they provide behind the plate and what you're taking away from that. If, you can do it relative, split playing time with both utilizing the DH and the catching position. So, it's a good problem to have. Both these guys are still, as Sean's still young. He's, starting out, I think, in his third season, going into his fourth season. So, he's still a young player. And I think a lot of the question marks Sean's answered, which lied with, is he going to stay healthy? Can he catch 125, 30 games? And he's answering all those questions right now. So we're real happy about that.
Let's end on this. This has to feel pretty good. With Noisy going deep yesterday, that's 34 home runs in the second half. There's only 4 other teams in baseball who have hit more than you during that time. Just how much pressure does that take off the offense and just for the morale in the dugout, seeing the ball go over the fence, how it helps you guys?
Yeah, I mean, that slug is something that obviously it helps win baseball games as well as on base. And, I think over the recent, few weeks, we've done a better job of getting on base with the walk, and we're still grinding away to get those 2-out hits, to get that big hit that extends innings, that really, that drives runners in. I think we can still improve with runners in scoring position and the mentality, the approach there. So, but anytime we can talk about hitting home runs and have that as a part of our arsenal, it definitely helps win games. And when you're down 2 and you've got 2 guys on, and you hit a 3-run homer, there's a lot of momentum swing there. So, these guys are working hard. We're working every day to continue to get better. The young hitters, they're going to go through their ups and downs, and that's part of the growing pain. So, we don't want them to lose confidence in this stretch, and we're going to continue to be positive with them and continue to coach them up. And at the end of the season, as I always talk to Brownie about, you grind, you continue, you put your head down, and when you're done, you'll look up at the end of the year and you'll be pretty close to where you want to be.
Well, great stuff as always. Welcome back. Enjoy a 10-game homestand at 10 days in your own bed, which will be nice, and we'll see you out at the yard.
Which is Nest Bedding too, County. Don't forget that.
Hitting the road with the family. On your way to nonstop adventures. No worries ahead, because you can stop at a Chevron station along the way. Get fuel for your car, fuel for your crew. That's Chevron with Techron for unbeatable mileage and snacks for all. Coffee for mom, chips for the kids, cold drinks for dad. For the road ahead. Toss in some laughs, out-of-tune singing, and a zillion "Are we there yet?" And you just made lifelong family memories. Chevron, together ahead.
Hey Ace fans, we've got a great deal for you. Get 4 tickets and parking for all Friday night games starting at just $39. Pick from great matchups, post-game fireworks and drone shows, giveaways, and more.
Outside corner, ring him up. And Eaton can't believe it.
Grab the crew and head to the Coliseum with friends and family any Friday night this season. 4 tickets and parking starting at just $39 for the whole group. Tickets are available at athletics.com. That's athletics.com.
Some things just go together. Peanut butter and jelly, cookies and milk, Oakland and Kaiser Permanente. If that last one caught you off guard, it shouldn't, because Kaiser Permanente has been helping keep Oakland healthy since our very beginning. And as the official healthcare partner of the Oakland A's, that won't be changing anytime soon. Whatever you may need, you can trust Kaiser Permanente to help keep you feeling your best. Kaiser Permanente. Thrive. Visit kp.org today.
Coming in at 5'3", it's number one mom. She switched to Xfinity and got the all-new 3-for-1 bundle. Unlimited internet, streaming, and Xfinity Mobile. All for what you could pay wireless companies for just one 5G unlimited line. Boom shakalaka. Go to Xfinity.com/3-for-1, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit an Xfinity store today. Limited time offer. Restrictions apply. Xfinity Mobile requires post-pay Xfinity internet. After 24 months, regular rates apply to all services and devices.
Streaming from the East Bay, A's Cast Live continues with Chris Townsend.
And we are live from the Treehouse, getting you ready for the A's and the Seattle Mariners. It's the start of a 10-game homestand. Fireworks tonight with Queen blaring on the speakers. It's going to be fabulous. My next guest, I think there's a new way I'm going to introduce him every single time he comes on. I'm, of course, NBC Sports California, of course, broadcaster for the A's. I'm just going to say this about him. A former Major League Baseball starting pitcher who used to complete games. I'm not going to talk about the special day anymore. I'm going to say an actual Major League Baseball pitcher who would take the ball in the first inning and they would hand him the ball when the game was over.
That happened a few times. Yes. You don't see that a lot these days. Is that what you're getting at, Townie?
I'm saying this man used to do it, and that now is the most impressive thing about your career.
Well, you know what? And maybe it was just because there was a lack of options. I don't know if that's necessarily true.
And by the way, and it wasn't that long ago.
But very fortunate to be, one, I think just to be given the opportunity to learn how to do that. That's something that I think, it's twofold. One, you have to earn it. You have to show the folks who are making the decisions that you deserve to see guys the third time through, maybe even the fourth time through. If that means going through the first 2-3 guys, that's pretty scary, pretty daunting. But I think it's a combination of being able to earn the trust and one being given the opportunity or forcing the opportunity, which I think the staff at the end of the day, the front office at the end of the day would love to tell you that they've got guys who are forcing that issue. So that's something that you consider when you also consider the way that the game has evolved. That's a conversation we have a lot, but I just don't know how often that's going to be in the cards if it's not something that is being presented on a regular basis.
Key thing you said was you learned.
Yes.
You learned how to do it.
Sure.
You can't learn how to do it if you never do it.
Yeah, and that's where I think we're seeing guys, and that's what was so unfortunate about what we eventually came to learn about the injury with Paul Blackburn is this is a guy who, through a lot of those successful outings as well, is battling some things, literally battling the ability to feel the baseball and to pitch the way he did, encountering those things and still getting deep into games. We're watching Cole Irvin get deeper into games than I think we've seen a lot of guys. So you're watching guys learn those things, Townie, and you're watching them earn the opportunity to learn. You got to earn it to learn it. And that's what I think Cole Irvin is really doing.
Yeah, we were going over this on A's Cast Live, how Rancho Cucamonga, A-ball for the Dodgers, their starting pitchers aren't even averaging 3 innings this year.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting when you think about player development, and there's a lot of different avenues you can take when you're talking about preparing arms. And I think really it's an organizational mindset, and that's where the difference is going to come into play is when and where do you think you're going to be able to start to stretch these guys out if they're going to fill the need that you think they're going to be able to fill at the big league level. I don't think the Dodgers are running starters out there to just get 3 or 4 in the big leagues, right? We're not seeing that. So there could be something to just trying to figure out a way to maximize guys' health, introduce them to pitching every 5th day. Maybe they lower the workload because it takes a couple years just to get your arm into professional pitching shape. And that's where I think a lot of organizations start to vary and start to take different routes when it comes to cultivating talent and growing talent. And then there's just different opinions, different theories.
All right, so whether it's an A's pitcher or anybody else who's going to get called up, whether rest of August, September, we'll have call-ups, what's the advice you give guys who are getting this shot for the first time?
To remember why you have earned this opportunity. The only difference is another deck, and you might know a few names on the back of the jerseys on the other side. And that's just trying
It's a pretty big deck.
It's just trying to simplify. It's just trying to simplify everything that goes into the mindset of a guy just getting to the big leagues, because there's so much noise, there's so much going on, and you just try to keep it stupid simple for yourself. That is my advice. But the confidence factor for me has to be there. And it's easy to say from afar, and it's easy to say having, kind of gone through it, been there, done that. But that's why I'm saying, and I have identified the confidence, is because I know what it means to go out there and get whacked and start to waver and think, I don't know if my fastball is good there. I don't know if my changeup is good there. I don't know if the slide, you're not going to get out to the big league level doing that. So you just got to flush that mindset. You're here for a reason, and you got to get outs, and you got to believe that you're the guy to do it.
Location. And I think like Zach Logue, that's been his problem. Location. Like when he just got beat in Texas, it was location. Because you got a guy like Cole Irvin going tonight. You got a guy like yourself. You didn't have to throw 98 to get people out, but it was location.
Right. And I look at a guy like Zach Logue, and I see a lot of myself there, because I'm not going to overpower you. I was going to rely on putting the ball where I needed to. I was going to rely on the guys behind me making great defensive plays night in and night out. And you start to learn, as a guy who can pitch to contact, as a guy who probably needs to pitch to contact, that creating pace, which I think Logue does a good job of when he's going well, that's going to help the defense behind you. And so there's just those little lessons that you learn, those little things that you really start to value once you start to get those opportunities. You don't want to run out of those opportunities. And that's where the emphasis on, when you go down for him, the left go down, but just get back to putting the ball where you want, because we've seen him have success up here.
And it's tough to slow down. I think even now, in my golf game, if you bogey the first few holes, it's panic time, right? It's like, oh my God, same thing out there. You go out there as a young pitcher, you're trying to impress everybody, and you give up a couple runs early. It's okay.
Well,
breathe.
What you don't want him to do is what you clearly do with your partners, with guys.
Panic. Panic.
I was thinking project. You were projecting how you think about struggling off the box the first few.
Throwing clubs. I'm just pissed, right? You can't do that.
No.
Slow down.
Yeah, you got to pump the brakes, and that's why I just try to use the term keep it stupid simple, because we can convolute our brains with a lot of different thoughts, a lot of different scouting reports, numbers, tendencies, all that stuff just comes flooding in. And again, Townie, it's so easy to just say, go out and compete. But if you've put the work in, if you've taken a look at the scouting reports, if you've planned your work, all that's left to do is go out and work your plan.
Fans love you, and you're going to be out in the stands tonight. You're going to be right out here from the Treehouse in right field.
Yeah.
Going to be doing the broadcast. Always a lot of fun. You, the fans, and now we're throwing live television in there.
Live television.
Yes.
The Treehouse
Yep.
on a Friday night.
Happy hour.
Happy hour.
Uh-huh.
The last dive bar is, Townie. But I don't know if I'll see it here tomorrow. We're going to find out.
This could be your broadcasting career.
We're going to find out.
What possibly could go? That's what I said. We're doing a live show. People are drinking behind us. What possibly could go wrong?
Live TV, open bar.
Yeah.
Come on.
Should be fun. Queen's coming up after.
This is what dreams are made of.
People are taking pictures as we're doing this.
Yeah, it didn't matter. We're live. It doesn't
why
matter.
not?
Yeah, absolutely.
See how it works out?
That's it.
That's you tonight.
Oh, I can't wait.
I mean,
I'm
it's one thing
excited.
we're doing this on YouTube and A's Cast.
Well,
but-
what's really cool is, being back down behind home plate for those years when it was me, the great Ray Fosse, and Kipe. I had a different angle and a different look at the game, and you could take it in from a different viewpoint. This is going to be a lot of fun tonight because I'm with a lot of great fans who love this team, love this Coliseum, and they love baseball. And you factor in all the other things that you just kind of threw out there, tonight's going to be a whole lot of fun.
I do miss you down there because you were hearing everything, you were seeing everything, you were relaying to us. It's just different. And especially like in Anaheim when you're right in the almost like in the dugout, like that was special.
Yeah.
I mean, what you do now is great, but I do miss that because you're giving us something that we normally don't get.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun to look at the game from that angle. And really what's really cool is, the players, they just kind of welcome you in as this crustacean that is now kind of grown on the side of the dugout. They know you're there. They see you there. I mean, I can remember Lucroy coming around after scoring like on a double from first, panting, breathing hard. And I was pumped up and he, gave me a high five in the middle of the broadcast. I remember watching, the ridiculous throw from Laureano.
Yeah.
Justin Upton belts a ball to left center and Eric Young Jr. on his way around second, headed to third. And Laureano just flat-footed almost. If they took a step,
Just one of the greatest defensive plays I've ever seen.
Ever. And I was standing right there watching it come right. It was unbelievable. So, yeah, I do miss it too, but I'm having a lot of fun.
Well, we are out of time. I got to go do pregame. You got to go do the show.
I do.
Thank you for stopping by.
Always.
Next time, hopefully, we'll have a little bit longer.
Yeah. Got nothing to do.
And are we getting anything special tonight? It's just a tease.
Well,
are we getting anything special tonight out here with you? Some type of theme.
Maybe. Well, they are the fireworks tonight. It is a Queen theme show, right?
That is correct.
A Queen theme show. So, I mean, Freddie, I'm a big fan of the unis that Freddie used to trot out there.
Freddie Mercury. And we're old enough to really remember Freddie Mercury and how big Queen was.
Massive.
They used to do, they did stadiums around the world. They did concerts where there'd be 200,000-300,000 people.
Yeah, and if you don't know, you need to ask, Mama. Ooh.
MTV, but you kids won't even know what that means. Have a good broadcast tonight. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Coming up, we'll have A's Total Access for you, getting ready for the Athletics and the Mariners.
Humanity has accomplished a whole lot so far. We created penicillin, the automobile, and the internet, not to mention drones, duct tape, and the hot dog.